Welcome back to the Lifestyle Design Show podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how to start a vending machine business in 2021. I'm here today with Noah Bryan, vending machine business partner, former roommate, and engineer at Sterling Computers Corporation. Noah, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to talk about our vending machine business in the past, what we could have done better, and how to start one in 2021. How do you think we should do that today?
Oh, I'm excited. Well, we've done a lot of research, and we actually made a list of about 8 bullet points of what you could do if you're wanting to get started with a business like vending. So number one, I think the biggest thing I would say is decide what you want to sell, whether it's drinks or snacks or many of the other options that people use in vending machines for.
Yeah, I see a lot with, and we're not supposed to say this on air, but the sickness, the illness,
right?
They sell masks in vending machines, and that is a hugely profitable item.
Wow.
To sell in vending machines. Anyone can buy their own masks or buy them in bulk, put them in the vending machines, along with school supplies, paper you might need for school. Put them on campuses just for that reason.
What are some other non-food or drink vending machines? I've seen sneaker vending machines.
I've seen sneaker vending machines, everything all the way to CBD, random supplies that you would need throughout the day, like Germex, a lot of things for the illness now.
One I just thought of is you see vending machines at bowling alleys with socks.
Oh!
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, especially if you don't bring your socks to the bowling alley. Oh, God. That honestly goes into a step we go into a little later, but choosing the right location.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge.
God.
So when you're picking a certain type of vending machine, if we were to do it again, how would we kind of decide which type of machine to do?
I would look for, first, a very cheap machine to start out.
Okay.
And cheap doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Cheap means baseline machine. They already took out either the credit card reader or any other major equipment that would customize the machine.
Okay. Wow.
Very low startup cost for this kind of business model.
You would say low startup costs?
I would say lower startup costs than most business.
Okay.
Most business ventures.
Right.
Right. Because this is what would be mostly passive income once you get it started.
Right, once you automate the process and everything.
Once you start automating the processes.
That makes sense.
One issue that we ran into with our vending machine business is not realizing how much work went into it at first. Yeah. How many things we would have to fix, how many things we'd have to learn how to mechanically augment or add certain things to. We had to add our own lock. We had to look into adding our own credit card machine, which kind of leads us into the second bullet point.
Yeah.
Deciding what features you want on your vending machine.
That's true. And after you pick what kind of vending products you're going to have, you really have to decide from there, do you want a credit card reader? Do you want special wrap, a logo to make it look cool? Mm-hmm. And we even thought about that.
Yeah, and that goes into the startup cost.
Does.
Having all of your machines wrapped after you get them may be great down the road.
Yeah, good for branding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Starting out, that might be something you want to look for in your machines. Is a lot of machines that just look the same, that are stripped of everything, so you can customize them yourself down the road.
That's true. That's true. Is there anything else that we would need that people might be interested in adding to a vending machine?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Features along the lines of LED lights can make your snacks more visible, almost more appealing to people. If you have combo machines, so selling drinks and snacks, that is a fantastic feature to kind of diversify in any location. And I think there was one more.
Sometimes the different machines will have options to automatically count inventory for you.
Oh.
Inventory levels, yeah.
So automating the process, instead of having to go to each machine every single week and check how much inventory you have left.
Exactly.
You can have something that just lists it all on an app on your phone or on your computer, of course, and look through how much inventory you have in each machine, what you actually have to refill at the end of the week, so you're not just running around to every location and wasting time.
True. So, and obviously the more that you customize your machine, the more expensive it gets. So it really comes down to how much you're willing to put into startup costs. For us, we wanted to keep it lean. Mm-hmm. We really just bought the machine, we bought the locks, we bought the inventory.
Yeah.
Do you think looking back, is there anything that could have made our vending machine business more successful?
Something that I think we could have done better to increase sales, make it a little more profitable, and definitely more passive is adding that credit card machine.
Yeah.
We skipped on that at first because we thought cold hard cash, that's what we want to like keep it to, just so it was a little easier, no credit card fees. But you actually found a statistic recently that credit card machines on vending machines increase sales by something crazy like 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing like increase on sales just for like one location. Speaking of that, it would be interesting one day to see cryptocurrency being accepted by vending machines.
Can you imagine?
I mean, that's something that we could make the decision to accept instead of some larger business.
Right.
So, we funnel that into resources for the business, have it climb in value in the back. I would treat it like an investment. And
right.
At the end of the day, I'd say that would be a pretty cool form of currency to accept at a vending machine.
That would be really cool. That's something future vending machine business owners over here, if you're listening to this, maybe look into crypto payments.
That would be something interesting to include down the road.
It's not a bad idea.
Of course, we were talking about how to make it a little more profitable in the beginning.
Right.
Point number 3, where to buy your vending machine is important into calculating how the startup costs will start affecting you, I would say. So where did we try to find our first vending machine?
Yeah, man. We went to a few different options. We looked at Craigslist. We looked at Facebook Marketplace. And there are like manufacturer direct wholesalers, direct manufacturers for like new vending machines.
Yeah.
But for used vending machines, especially like just getting started with the business, it's probably going to be the best bet. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what made it such a low startup cost for us. Is because we started looking for used vending machines in the area through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, any online resource that we could find that wasn't wholesaler or brand new vending machines.
Exactly.
Now, yes, the brand new vending machines look nice.
Yeah.
Yes, they might look better on a storefront or some of the larger businesses if you are trying to go for those businesses.
True. How much more is like a new vending machine compared to used? What do you think?
So a brand new vending machine, I'd say a brand new drink machine, somewhere around 3,000, 4,000. We might be able to put that on the screen.
Yeah.
We can find it, maybe somewhere around here. But around 3,000 or 4,000. Used machine, like I mentioned earlier, could run anywhere from like $300 to $400.
Wow, that low?
That low. And
wow.
if you buy it from, I don't know, someone who's just trying to get rid of all of their inventory, is selling off their business, you might even get a better price.
And that's an interesting point, someone trying to sell their business. So one method to getting started with the vending machine business is to actually buy someone else's vending machine business.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so like you buy their routes, you buy the locations, you buy into the contracts with the businesses.
Yeah.
So we chose not to go that route, but do you think that would be a decent way for someone to go?
So starting a business in 2021, if there was a venture that was selling it for like a lower price, say they were selling just a couple routes at a time, that would start you out with like 4 or 5 vending machines right away. If it was cost effective, I would say that would be the easiest and fastest way to start the business. Probably. Because at that point, you would only have to take care of the legal side of things. That involves, registering your business, getting all the paperwork in order, making your own business plan, which is something that we spent countless hours doing.
We did.
Putting our desks together in our college living establishment.
Okay, so you bought your machine.
Yeah.
You decide what you want to put in it, snacks, drinks, or anything else.
Of course, yeah.
And you decided what customizations, if you want the credit card reader or whatever.
Which I would suggest.
So what now? What's the next step that someone could do?
Well, the next step, I would say, is trying to find the best location. Now, we talked about that a little bit at the beginning, how the location can affect your sales. But it truly is dependent on the location, what you decide to sell. Now, I know we put on what we wanted to sell as one of the first things on the list, but I would say these go hand in hand. If you're picking a location that's outside, in the heat, you're not going to want to include only dry snacks.
It's true. That's very true.
You're going to probably want to put a drink machine in that location because people are outside, dehydrated, and a location that might be conducive to this setting is like a park.
Yeah.
In our case, we did it at an outdoor equine assisted therapy program. They were a Special Olympics training ground, and we thought it would get a lot of business, so we put a snack machine there instead of a drink machine.
That was our first mistake.
First mistake. If we had drinks out there, I'm sure we would have pulled in a lot more than 10 sales a week.
You know, I would say some really good locations for a machine are, you mentioned parks. Parks are good. Bus stops are good.
Okay.
Shopping malls. Schools are a little harder because you have to like talk to the office and stuff, but schools would be a great one.
Okay.
Gyms are another great one.
Oh, gyms.
Anywhere that gets a lot of foot traffic is really, so I would say go around your town. Drive around, look at where people are congregating, where people are forced to be, and that would be a really good location for vending machines.
So literally anywhere you can find heavy foot traffic and find a way to put a machine there.
I really feel like that plays into the next factor a lot, like the way you market yourself with your business name.
Ooh.
I feel like that's huge. And for us, what was our name?
We wanted to go with Fresh Vending.
We did.
Now, we chose Fresh Vending because throughout our college career, Christopher gave me some advice on eating healthier, eating closer to a vegan diet, and I was inspired by it because it made me feel better personally and helped with, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so it helped me keep a lot of things in control. So with our vending machines, we both wanted to find a way to give more healthy options to people, but make it seem kind of like a more mainstream approach to providing healthier options. So Fresh Vending.
Yeah, that was V1.
That was version 1.
We adjusted at some point because we realized, because marketing is so important. The way you name your business, I mean, it might not seem like it at first, but it really does define what your business is going to turn into.
Oh yeah.
So we did Fresh Vending at first, and we got feedback that seemed almost like we were doing like fresh fruits and vegetables, salad.
Idea, but not something that we could really do in a vending machine.
Not practically.
Not practical.
And I think another factor as far as like working with these business owners, a lot of questions that we got with our first video, which is linked in the description if you guys want to check it out.
Definitely check it out. We look tired after moving and selling our machine.
We
Had
do.
a few regrets, but definitely check that out.
It's worth it. It's worth it. People were asking, how do you actually acquire like a location and work with these businesses? And so if you want to go ahead and answer that, like what's a normal commission that you would pay a business to put your machine there?
So finding different locations was a little bit difficult for us. I chose a route that I learned from work at the time. I was a leasing agent, and I did a lot of cold calls. So we were thinking we could do a lot of cold calls to other apartment complexes in the area and see if they had a vending machine, if they wanted any different vending machines, because some only have like snack machines and they need a drink machine, or vice versa. And then, after we did all the cold calls and set up meetings, we would go in and pitch our ideas. So we made up some graphics. I don't know if you can show a picture of the graphics we made.
Put it up.
But we made a couple of like funny graphics, and we went up to all these places and we pitched our ideas. And honestly, if you want to start a business from the ground up, that might be the best way to get in touch with your audience. Cold calls and seeing them in person. Yeah. Because even with the illness, I think it is effective to have those calls, have those almost face-to-face, even if you have to do it on Zoom, to identify with your audience and give them the chance to explain what they need before you push it on them that we want to put a vending machine here.
That's true. That personal connection is really important. So as far as the money side then, how much do you think is too much to pay the business owners, and how much is too little?
I heard that the best approach that vending machine businesses take to compensating the owner of the business is to allow a 7 to 25% commission from the machine. This would cover, renting the little space that it's in, all the way to the electricity that it takes up.
Right.
Depending on the location, you might want to range a little higher, but I honestly don't think going above 25% is too profitable in the end.
It's true.
If you could negotiate down to that lower 7%, I would say that would be perfect, especially if you have vending machines in other locations. If you can average out to under 15% for all of your machines, I would say that would give you a better profit margin at the end of the day.
And that's commission based on gross profits, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not after the snacks inventory, price, and not after anything else. It's just gross. So that's why it's important not to shoot too high for these commissions, because you don't want to be eating into your profits too much at the end of the day.
It might get you the sale, it might get you the location. It's not gonna make you happy, and it's not gonna feel profitable or passive.
Exactly.
So now to get to the nitty gritty stuff. After you've decided all of the beginning factors, you've chosen the name, and you're getting excited about what you're gonna sell. You might even have your vending machine at this point. Now you're gonna have to get to the legal stuff. So the next step, number 6, is deciding your business type, whether that be an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, or sole proprietorship.
Right.
There are different benefits and some pretty bad legal ramifications for each of them, depending on how your business goes. Do you want to go into a little more detail?
Yeah, sure, of course. So really, it comes down to each individual business, what type is best, and obviously talking to a lawyer or a CPA really does help answer those kind of questions, because there are so many different aspects that go into a business. But I would say the most important thing is not to let this legal part deter you.
Okay.
Because I think that a lot of people get caught. Do I need an LLC? Should I be a C Corp?
Yeah.
All these questions that they're hard to answer. So in general, just start, I would say, is my biggest advice. Maybe get your machine, maybe start talking to locations. And then once you have to become a business entity, then maybe consult a business attorney.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to a CPA. It's most likely going to be a good call to do that.
Now, what risks are involved? I know we mentioned before, or maybe in our research we came across, being a sole proprietorship might put the fault on, or any liability on the business owner.
That's
so
true.
Depending on where you put your machines, depending on what happens, if you have any disagreement with the person or some liability issue, it becomes specifically the business owner's
You're not protected.
fault. You're not protected by anything that, say,
an LLC might protect you from. Yeah, absolutely. When you're buying the used machine, because we do recommend getting started to get a used machine.
Yes.
Really analyze the machine, look at it, make sure it works. When we went and got ours, we asked them to try out the coin mech. We asked them to test out the cash dispenser. We wanted to see if each of the spinny things, each of the motors worked.
Yeah, make sure. So all of those coils on the inside, they have an individual motor on each one. Make sure you have them test each one. For vending machines, you can look up the model and what specific functions they have, but usually they have a function called a test function where it tests all of the motors in the machine. Make sure you test it before you buy it.
Yeah, you don't want to get a lemon. That's the biggest thing. We did pretty good.
We made it to this point.
We did.
But we did not make it to 6 or number 7.
Number 7.
Designate yourself a registered agent. That goes along with forming your business, whether it's LLC, C Corp, whatever. Get yourself a registered agent. Now, one important thing about the registered agent, or wherever you have your business address, is that leads into the next step of actually registering your business with the state.
It's true.
And getting your EIN. You need to have a business address to apply for those things. So once you have your registered agent, whether you use your home address or whether you use the service and use their address, you need that first before you get your business certified with the state and before you have your EIN.
It's very important. The EIN is associated with the IRS. It's how you're going to file your taxes, which is, again, it's another bonus. It's a bonus step. When you do have a business, obviously there are bookkeeping and taxes.
The nasty stuff. The gross parts about owning a business, paying taxes.
It's a necessary evil. Once you have that EIN, that business number, then you can get a business checking account. Then you can get a business credit card. So that's going to be huge as far as taking the next step from just startup vending machine level to really leveling up.
Once you finish all those steps, you could even get personal business loans. To bring your business up step by step by step, or if you had by this point planned, your next 5 years, next 10 years, like we did.
We did do that.
For ours, you start making those steps that you thought were impossible at first, and maybe, just maybe, you have a successful vending machine business in 2021.
So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to go ahead and review some of the comments that were left on our original vending machine video. All right, so let's go ahead and read through these comments. Noah, if you see any that stand out to you, just go ahead and read it.
I started a vending machine business last year as a side job while I'm employed in the corporate world. Now I rely more on my earnings in my vending machine business. Such a good idea to start one.
There is success stories like that people start to out-earn their day job with their vending machine, and it becomes passive income after the initial startup.
Now, I think they probably had a good idea. William, you had a good idea by starting the business while you still had a stream of income. Because we were in college, our stream of income was scholarship money. And that didn't technically translate to a consistent stream of income. So I think your strategy to having your consistent stream of income while the business is still in its starting stages was very smart. So I would definitely suggest that if you're starting your business.
All right, here's another one that looks good from Alistair. It becomes passive income when you start making enough money to pay someone to restock and maintain the machines. But until then, you gotta use your muscle. Very true.
Very true. And we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, we did. We did. Those machines, they're heavy. How heavy do you think? A couple thousand maybe?
I would say they're easily about 600 pounds. The smaller ones, and they could go up to probably more than that. But all the heavy metal, all of the coils, all the shelves, it adds up in the end. And especially if you have snacks in the machine when you're moving it, it can become very difficult work. All right, so this comment from Future Laugh, it's definitely making me laugh in the future. After a year of work, you guys made $20. Dang. Well, yeah. You know what? I like to see it as we didn't just break even. We made a little bit of money while we were still spending a bunch of money on the business.
That's true.
We were continuing to buy snacks. We were continuing to try to upkeep the machine. And we did make back the initial cost of the machine and then $20 within our first year. Yeah, so I think an important thing to note is that you do make back the cost of your machine eventually, and then you start making a profit. Yeah. We did cut off once we started making a profit, but I assume that if we kept on going, it would have been a little more than $20.
For sure. And something to note is it was $20 per person. So that worked out to being about $40 profit altogether. So sorry, Future Laugh. It's not totally accurate there.
But thank you for the Future Laugh. Yeah, I kind of want to find one of those harder comments because we did have some people that pointed out that we could have kept going.
All right, so it looks like we actually found 2 negative ones.
Oh gosh, all right, so I'm ready. I'm ready for the scrutiny.
This Brandon Vasquez said that we are just lazy. Do you think that we were lazy in this endeavor?
So I think it's very easy to see that from the outside and say, you know, they didn't do all they could have done, and there are better things they could have done, and yeah, we agree. I think that's why we're making this video and saying like, yeah, there are a lot of things we could have done better, a lot of things we could have learned a little better. I think at the time, we did the best that we could with what we had.
I agree.
All right, so Coach, let's answer your question. Bruh, learn how to delegate and invest more.
And I think we actually might have read a comment about this earlier. When you're just starting out, there's no way to delegate. There's no way to delegate. We're not having active funds coming in. You know, you have to do most of the work yourself, right?
Yeah, and if we can find it, we did have a Trello board where we delegated jobs to each other because we both specialized in slightly different things. I very much enjoyed the writing and paperwork side of things, so I did most of that. And Christopher loved setting up all of our advertising, setting up all of the business plans with me, of course, and we all came together with like our separate specialties in the end, but as far as delegation to anyone else, we didn't get that far.
All right, and then there's one more comment that I think we want to go ahead and talk about.
Oh yeah, so we did find, I believe, one really nice comment.
We did.
That I just wanted to point out and thank the guy who said this. Brett Money, he said, okay, seriously, this is one of the most interesting videos on YouTube that I've ever watched. Thank you. You always see those vending machines and think, yeah, whatever, give me some chips. But as someone focused on business, it's so fascinating to hear the struggles and experiences you had with the business. thank you so much for making this and sharing it. I feel like 20 years ago, no one would have had the chance to learn this, but now we can see. And I really appreciate what you had to say there. We had a lot of people that, told us we were lazy, told us we could have done better, and, we definitely could, but I'm glad you see that it is a learning opportunity. And that's why we put it out there in the first place, because we wanted people to see, there are mistakes to be made.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for that comment.
Let's go ahead and smash the like button on that comment.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. Any final thoughts on vending machine businesses in 2021?
Well, I think if there's a time to start a vending machine business, it's probably going to be while people are starting to get more active again. They're starting to go outside a little bit more again. And after reading those comments, I'd say definitely invest and keep on investing into your business. Don't think you have to take a paycheck from it right away.
It's true. And
I think the most important thing to take away from all this is have some fun with it.
Yeah, have some fun.
Because, it is just one of those passive, profitable, fun side businesses that you could have, and you can make it with a friend.
Absolutely. And, I think something else, too, that we talked about a lot, but we actually never did, is starting with a bulk machine like candy machine or gumball machines. Those are a lot cheaper, lower barrier to entry. Might be a little hard to find a location for those, but it's possible. It's still possible.
Easy if you know someone.
Easy if you know someone, and if you just want to dip your toes in, without necessarily buying a whole vending machine. Bulk machine might be a great place to start too.
Well, I would like to thank you for having me on today.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed talking about our vending machine, our first win that was also a failure, I would say. But I appreciate having the chance to talk about it, address some of those comments that you guys had, and I hope we were able to help you out, listing out some of the steps to starting your own vending machine business in 2021.
And how to make it profitable, right?
Yeah.
How to make a business that makes you passive income and that you can actually quit your day job. Maybe.
Maybe, eventually.
Maybe. Noah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it.
I had a lot of fun.
Make sure to follow Noah's Instagram. I put it down in the description. And also make sure to check out our original video that we did where we really go into depth about everything that happened.
All of our failures.
All of it.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, so all right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, and vend on.
Vend on.
Awesome, dude. Cheers. That was awesome, dude.
That was really fun.
I'm here today with Noah Bryan, former vending machine business partner. No. I'm here today with Noah Bryan, former vending machine business partner, former room. Okay, messed up.
Vending machine business partner.
Vending machine business partner,
Former roommate,
and
engineer at
Sterling. Okay, this is the last time.
Do you want to write it down?
No, this
Okay.
is the last time. If I get it wrong, then we're readjusting. Okay. Welcome back